The new Ram 1500, but the most expensive $90,000 practically costs you this beauty. They say it's better than a GMC Sierra Denali, which are big words. They say it's very close. Or maybe it surpasses the Ford F-150 Limited. Also luxury versions of its arch rivals from General Motors and Ford. In the end, are you going to tell me if this Tungsten version, with all it costs and all it has, is better than those? They have new engines that hide one of them under this cover, and those new engines are produced in the Mexico plant. So I have a package of information, details that you won't want to miss in this video. Welcome. But the starring role of this mastodon, this big mama, as some call it, this truck, is found here under the engine cover. Why? Because it's a new engine. The big news for the 2025 Ram 1500 2025. In this Tungsten model, you will find the Hurricane model of 3.0 liters, 6 inline cylinders. This is the high output version. What does high output mean? It's high performance, high power delivery, 540 horsepower and 521 pound-feet of torque. Ideal for twisting. It's coupled to an 8-speed automatic transmission. How does it feel to drive? Because we've already said goodbye to the Hemi V8 and a lot of people were crying. But, well, how much difference is there? What's the experience of driving an engine with fewer cylinders like? Let's see it. The driving experience of this Tungsten is excellent. Definitely, when you have the opportunity to drive a truck with this level of luxury, well, it's a delight. Does it have fewer cylinders than the Hemi? Yes, we are saying goodbye with much nostalgia to the 5.8 engine, the S Hemi, but this 6-cylinder Hurricane in line with more than 500 horses.
Definitely, because it has a lot. The response is the right one. Here I am on uneven ground.
A road with a bit of a degree of difficulty, not to say that it's brutal, but it's not paved like in other parts where we've had the opportunity to drive the Ram 1500. But definitely in what I've been able to drive it, both on the asphalt terrain, I've been able to observe that the response is very good. I mean, you have the acceleration punch, it's the appropriate response. You're not going to have problems overtaking. There's the little second, the fraction of a second of the turbo lag, corresponding, let's say, to a twin turbo engine like these. But definitely, for many, it will be imperceptible to change 8 cylinders, to reduce that number. In addition, it's a lighter engine, it consumes less, and it's also an engine that pollutes less. As I was telling you, this is the high-performance version, the one with over 500 horsepower, 540 horsepower. But there is the base or standard version of the Hurricane engine, which you can find in the Tradesman, in the Limited, in Longhorn. In other models, it gives you 420 horsepower and 469 pound-feet of torque. So look, the difference from 540 to 420 is really, as they call it, a high output, a high delivery, a high performance of this engine. But does it have 6 cylinders? Yes, 6 inline cylinders. What's happening? 6 is less than 8. The 5th engine, 8. It was told bye-bye, goodbye, math doesn't lie, 6 less than 8. But honestly, if we're going to put it in perspective, this engine with 540 horsepower gives you more power. Twin turbo gives you more power than the 5th 8 of the Ford F-150, which, if I remember correctly, gives you 400 horsepower, and the naturally aspirated 5th 8, of course, to clarify, the naturally aspirated 5th 8 of the Silverado. The 1.4 gallons engine produces 355 horsepower, while the 1.64 gallons engine generates 420 horsepower, if I recall correctly. So it's a significant difference. Of course, you have fewer cylinders, but the twin turbo component and the mechanical configuration they've made. You will receive a delivery of 540 exterior items. It's one of the 8 different front grille options you have with this geometric figure. It's one of them. It has 7 more to choose from. The Ram price has increased slightly, maintaining a similar tone. Silver, you have your front camera light. Here the edge tone, silver tone. Also the hood. The engine cover also has some new lines that serve an aerodynamic function, and I think they look a little better than that previous version. Good functionality. The grille is a bit wider, a touch of more character. Below, we also have very good functionality. All the amount of proximity sensors is important for the technological and safety assistance component that this Ram offers. 1,500 tungsten and your sensor for the adaptive cruise control, which has been improved more, offers more precision now in this RAM. 1,500 in its 2025 version. We have fog light here. These are with 3 micro lenses of LED technology, a nice one encased with an aluminum edge, and these look like bear claws. These appliques, which also have an aerodynamic function here more, the headlights also receive an update. Now they are a bit thinner, slimmer, daytime running light, LED technology, and also the micro lenses in LED technology. Another new feature in this RAM. 1,500 tungsten are the rims. Now you have rims in a size of 22 inches. This is also an exclusive design for the tungsten model. Share your thoughts in the comments. The tire dimensions are 11.22 inches wide with a 45 profile. The interior is a chapter apart. Look, wherever you look, there's luxury. You have a motorized headrest. You have 4 positions. The seats, also in different designs that are available, have the tungsten label marked here so that you have it clear that you're paying for the most expensive model. Seats with side support, quite comfortable, quite robust. Those seats, now that I talk about them, give you 24 different positions. They are motorized. It's a great new feature of the Tungsten model. And look at the back, the comfort, leg room, the degree of recline, and the materials. They have a component that they call battery. It's a bit softer. It's a slightly softer leather. The roof has velvet too. All these finishes are what inflate the price. And here, obviously, we have a rear view mirror that is a camera. And there you can configure the zoom in, zoom out, the elevation. Everything. It also features a new 14-inch screen, a high-quality display with all the digital aids. The map looks great with integrated global positioning system, Apple CarPlay, and Android Auto. All the washers, the technological toys, you have it here. One thing they've added from the interior, notice it's double. Space for cell phones, for wireless cell phone charging, so the passenger can place it here to charge, and also the driver. And there's no problem. And besides that, it has several USB-C and regular USB HDMI connectors. I mean, if someone runs out of charge, you're not going to suffer from lack of charge here. The steering is a bit more robust in itself. I mean, I like the presentation of the steering. With the quality of the material, it feels a bit softer than in the, let's say, lower models of the range. Here you have the RAM, and you have some finishes in carbon fiber, in addition to the stitching, which looks very good. However, not everything is perfect with this tungsten. Despite paying $87,000, I sometimes find the steering feel a bit sleepy. And speaking of the steering, to let's say have paid $87,000, do you get such a large technological component, a large tech package? The steering itself is telescopic but lever operated, meaning it doesn't have electric activation. On the side it has, well, let's look over here, as if you were walking with me behind the camera. The 1500 label, silver. Says T straight 6 turbo, the straight 6 cylinder turbocharged H engine. Or not all of them have this here, or it means it's the high output. That is the high performance engine version because of that Hurricane engine. As I was explaining, you have 2 versions. This is the Mamalona, the one that gives the most power. More torque, your mirrors here, also in this silver tone, based on black background, the directional light, LED technology and RAM integrated within the mirror, all good. Below you have the label that says Tungsten, because obviously you have to show off that you're driving or that you've paid almost $90,000 for this. This piece, this big truck, whatever you want to call it. Here we have the RAM box going towards the back. Here it says the RAM box on the good one itself, right? You guys already know the RAM box, which is one of the brilliant storage spaces that RAM has been using for a while, right? With electrical connections to place tools or whatever you want, and it can be secured. Obviously, the entire line features the RAM box. Except for the tradesman version, which is the entry version, the most basic model, the cheapest one. The step, let's see, does it do the same as the one on the GMC Sierra? Of course, it is retractable, and I see that the extension seems to protrude a bit more than the one on the GMC Sierra. Let's see, you're going to... Well, now it does take a little bit longer, but it's retractable. Continuing the tour to the back to discuss the box. Not without mentioning that the suspension is a solid 5-link axle. Optionally, you can get the suspension pneumatic. That's an important fact. And another thing that received an update are these headlights, which now have a kind of 3-dimensional style shape. Maximum towing capacity you can get with a Ram 1500 is 11,580 pounds. I'll put it there in tons. And at the payload or useful load capacity level, 2,300 pounds is its capacity. And how does the Tungsten perform off-road in all terrain? Well, they didn't let me take this particular one off-road, but I have the off-road version, the off-road exercise that they allowed us to do with another one of the versions. I will show you some images and provide more information there. Here in the off-road, this Ram 1500, this is the Rebel 2025. It's a real beast. The suspension absorbs the bumps like a champion. And it has an impressive off-road capability. Truthfully, driving on those terrains is a delightful experience that puts a smile on your face. Look, the cruise control, or what I affectionately call it, the cruise control, is a driving assistance. While you're doing aggressive off-roading like this, practically on autopilot, you don't have to do anything with your feet. I mean, with the pedals, neither the brake nor the acceleration. Here you go calmly, and the truck crosses mud, the swamp, without any problem, descends without problem, ascends, scales whatever you want, without problem, you forget. And I'm going to tell him that going to sleep is very good. And the cameras and sensors of the Ram are also like your eyes, your ears, because they allow you to be there. Aware of what's happening around you on terrains, around you on difficult terrains, where will we be? And if you want the passenger to have their own screen, in addition to the 14-inch screen that is for the driver, you can also purchase it as an option. Obviously, everything here will inflate the price up to almost $90,000. You have the screen for the driver, which does not pose a danger or distraction for the driver. Let's say you would have to look away if you're in this perspective because you see it completely black. Only the passenger. And I think from there you can appreciate it. It's the one who can see the content that screen has. Let's now go to the back parts. But as I get off, I also notice this beautiful finish on the side of the seat. It looks spectacular. We also see more Ram labels, Tungsten, and down there metal pedals. I don't like this part here. The telescopic steering lever and door panel are very luxurious. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. If you think this one is better than the Denali, the GMC Sierra Denali, or the Ford F-150 Limited, let me know in the comments. Look at the back, also with good space. You have your vents or air conditioning outlets. Here you have another compartment plus regular USB, USB-C connections. Heating, air conditioning. All the seats have heating and air conditioning, and here is your regular plug port. More finishes like in carbon fiber. And look, another one on the backrest. More speakers, more Klipsch brand loudspeakers. I mean, this can sound like a concert here. If you like the boom, 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 you're going to have it here. In the Tungsten, but obviously you have to pay almost $90,000. As I have been telling you, here we have more versatility functions. Here we have storage. If we lift the upholstery and let's see how the legs are. Obviously here you have good, from here you can run this lever and you have a level to slide the seats and thus generate a little more space for the rear seats. Look, nothing more. That looks like a chair in your living room and all that space, all that degree of recline. I mean, the only thing missing is like the footrest, as if it were an armchair. How beautiful. And the presentation behind the headrest also in another. This is slightly more challenging. Here you have your pocket. Very nice. The electric window of the rear window. And look, how beautiful the presentation of armrests. With storage, cup holders. And you hide it there in the back of the seat. All of this is very, very good. In the back, on the roof, more speakers, and look at the roof unit, quite a large sliding one. All of that looks very nice here in Texas. Really a very beautiful event. Just like the truck, also the tailgate, which looks quite nice, imposing with this silver billet color, the silver ticket. The Ram also very good. Now it's more integrated, not just the back part, they've also integrated the front part a little bit more. With this update, the 4x4 label, this gate is not the double door that is in other versions. What you do have here is your camera. I suppose it has the soft drop hydraulic opening. And let's look at the box. Here we are going to bring the camera a little closer so you can see the box. It has the division there. Additional accessories, this comes standard. Obviously, you're paying $90,000. Do you expect a little more? The non-slip coating, tie-down points, lights also. In itself, the box has not received an update in itself for this renovation. It is not refreshed that they have given to the 5th generation. And the gate, you can open it both with the key and you can also close it, or you just do like this and it closes by itself. Here you have the cover. This is optional in other models. Here they give it to you as standard. The cover, tone of the box and visibility, as you see, is very good. The driving position and ride quality are excellent on this road, with no issues and a super comfortable experience. The imperfections are communicated to the cabin. It's a suspension that when you take it on a paved road, it's too forgiving. In other words, a smooth ride quality, as if I were driving a sedan. Very, very smooth. And here too, it's not that the experience is uncomfortable, despite the imperfections. It is cushioned, it handles them in a very suitable way, so you don't lose at any moment that level of comfort.
And how are you paying so much money, so much dough?
The total cost is $89,000 plus an additional $2,000 for destination charges, bringing it to over $90,000 before taxes. These are the safety assists and driving assistance features. At the level of driving assistance, there is what they call hands-free or hands-free driving. Level 2, semi-autonomous, basically on several of the interstate, state, and interstate highways in the United States.
And also from Canada.
You get a notice when you are driving it that you can have semi-autonomous driving where the vehicle corrects for you.
You can even let go of it for a certain amount of time.
Although it later detects, it has a sensor that detects your hands and it will ask you to place your hands there. Although it's a bit better than those that have that hands-free driving system. Once released, it rapidly beeps, signaling you to hold on.
It often fails to detect the hands when they are present.
This one has a slightly higher precision and autonomous control level, similar to Super Cruise or Ford's Blue Cruise. That's one of the important new features, and the adaptive cruise control has also been improved with greater precision. It stops to the point that you forget. You don't have to be accelerating or operating anything with your feet. And it also returns and starts the speed that was set after the vehicle continues. The emergency braking has also improved and is now much more precise. And even if at a given moment, to minimize the impact of a possible collision, it can correct at a level. In addition to steering correction, it can completely avoid or minimize the impact through braking. These are very important technology level things that they have added for this version of the 2025 Ram 1500 Tungsten. Another important thing I wanted to say about an interesting feature that the Ram handling has. 1500. Although this is not the Tungsten, and I tell you this because driving the Rebel is the Rebel version. I remembered that this function is important, and that is when you go at a certain speed on a highway, an aerodynamic driving function is activated. In models that have the option of air suspension, the air suspension can be used to regulate the height, increase it for off-road practice, or also for that function. It activates automatically. It enhances vehicle aerodynamics and fuel efficiency. In terms of sound, the sound system is quite impressive. You have a number of speakers scattered throughout the cabin. You have them on the roof, you have them on the sides, you have a big one there, you have one integrated into the door, multiplied throughout the cabin. And it's a sound system from the brand Clips, which is highly prestigious in itself, one of the most respected brands technologically speaking at the level of sound systems. Consider another positive feature of the interior. It's this label that brings the identification of each of the trucks of this version of the Tungsten has it here, with a nice integration of a silver label. The storage space is also very good, very convenient. They still place the space for coins, imagine their cup holders. Well, there you have a good space also to place your arm, more storage. And they have added, it's time for you to rate it, but before the $1 million question, Are you going for a GMC Sierra Denali, or do you think the Tungsten from Ram 1500 is better, based on what you've seen, than a GMC Sierra Denali? To which I myself have said is the mother of luxury pickup trucks. Let me know in the comments. Or do you think it's better than a luxury Ford F-150? Also comparing luxury conversions at the pickup truck level. And look how amazing that we are talking about luxury versions in pickup trucks, which a few years ago was to get them muddy dirty and it was for heavy-duty work. However, things have changed significantly, much like the automobile industry. Rate it on a scale of 1 to 10. Share your thoughts, what you enjoyed most and what you enjoyed least. If you enjoyed the video, I'll leave a few trucks for you to check out. Also awesome, very good trucks, badass trucks as they say out there, for you to enjoy. See you in the next video. Bye.